Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ishem, Barakah Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'ishem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Raya with another video, and I'll be profiling this YouTube video titled YouTube's Updated Terms of Service and Harassment Policy Simplified Breakdown, and it's on the Joy Camp YouTube channel. And as we'll see from the information presented by Benny Wills in this video, it's just a further indication that we're that much closer to the famine of the word, where our videos are no longer going to be on the internet, and they're eventually going to come after the men of the Lord on the highways and byways to keep this truth and prophecy from going out. But it's all futile, because as it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, by the powers that be, specifically the elites of you Edomites, such as the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, coming up with your demonization campaign to come against the truth. You're only further fulfilling prophecy. You're bringing about the famine of the word, which we know that once this truth is no longer out there, that means the elect have been sealed, and shortly thereafter, Yahushai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to return to save the elect of his people and his people only, the true children of Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who will come looking like these heathen nations, and also to wage war against the kingdoms of you heathens, chiefly you Edomites, and to put the final nail in the coffin of your rulership. So to you Edomites out there, bring it on. We're ready for this famine of the word to come, because we're ready to get out of your wicked kingdom and to see your downfall. But to you sincere Akim out there, you should be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because this word won't be around for too much longer, and you don't want to be caught out here like a chicken with your head cut off when all hell breaks loose, not knowing what's going on, because when you had liberty to get as much of this information as you could, you didn't take advantage of it.
Without further ado, today I said I was going to keep it light, because last week was pretty dark. All that Hollywood, pedowood stuff is pretty dark and heavy. But I'm not going to keep it light this week so much. It's not going to get as dark as last week. But I thought, in light of YouTube's new terms of service as of December 10th, I would shed light on exactly what those terms of service are by simplifying their blog, which they sent to me twice, because I have two channels, and to all other YouTubers that if you're just a consumer of YouTube, I don't know if you've seen this stuff, probably some of you have, but we got a notification very directly giving us a kind warning as to what's going to happen if we violate any of their new terms and services. So today, that's what I'm going to be breaking down for you. I've taken their TOS guidelines, hate speech policy, and cut out the fat just to bring you exactly what they're saying with their new TOS. On December 11th, this past Wednesday, we all received a notice saying an update to our harassment policy. And like I said, I've trimmed the fat. This is what they said. In their own words, YouTube. We manage content on YouTube by removing it when it violates our guidelines, reducing the spread of borderline content, raising up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, and rewarding trusted creators and artists that make YouTube a special place. Today, we are announcing a series of policy and product changes that update how we tackle harassment on YouTube. Harassment hurts our community. We met with a number of experts who shared their perspective and informed our process, from organizations that study online bullying or advocate on behalf of journalists, to free speech proponents and policy organizations from all sides of the political spectrum. We will not tolerate harassment, and then in big bold letters, a stronger stance against threats and personal attacks. Our policies will not only prohibit explicit threats, but also veiled or implied threats. There is also demeaning language that goes too far. We're building upon the framework we use for our hate speech policy, and hate speech policy is a blue hyperlink that you can click on. We will no longer allow content that maliciously insults someone based on protected attributes such as their race, gender expression, or sexual orientation.
All topics we cover showing what the Bible has to say about it, but of course it's going to be twisted to be shown as hate speech.
In other words, you can't be critical of someone who's trans. More bold letters.
More specifically, you can't be critical of someone who's an Idumean.
Consequences for a pattern of harassing behavior. We're tightening our policies to get even tougher on those who engage in harassing behavior and to ensure we reward only trusted creators. Channels that repeatedly brush up against our harassment policy will be suspended, eliminating their ability to make money on YouTube. We may also remove content from channels if they repeatedly harass someone. If this behavior continues, we'll take more severe action, including issuing strikes or terminating a channel altogether. More bold letters.
Which many brothers have already been seeing, their pages getting strikes and being taken down. Very recently, the camp I'm a part of, GMS Louisiana Saints, had one of our pages just completely wiped.
Addressing toxic comments. Comments are often where creators and viewers encounter harassment. This behavior not only impacts the person targeted by the harassment, but can also have a chilling effect on the entire conversation. To combat this, we remove comments that clearly violate our policies. As someone who's been on YouTube since 2012, I've received many toxic comments. And I've learned the best way to deal with those toxic comments is to ignore them. Just deal with it. It's the internet. People are not always on their best behavior on the internet. And it sucks to get a crappy comment, but it comes with the territory. And you know what? I learned something very important when I was a kid. I learned a phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me." And for every one crappy comment, there are 10 other ones that are supportive and kind and encouraging. I focus on those. Haters gonna hate, a wise man once said. Moving on. So I clicked on the hyperlink to the hate speech policy, which they put out earlier this year, and I thought I'd break it down for you. This is YouTube's hate speech policy, simplified. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on any of the following attributes: age, caste, disability, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, nationality, race, immigration status, religion, sex/gender, sexual orientation, victims of a major violent event and their kin, and veteran status. If you find content that violates this policy, please report it. Don't post content on YouTube if the purpose is to do one or more of the following: encourage violence or incite hatred. Incite hatred. That's tough to define.
Very tough to define, especially when they cherry pick comments made in our videos and put together a compilation of our videos showing things taken out of context to make us look like we're inciting hatred or violence when we're simply preaching the words of Yahweh Ba'Yishim Yahushai. This is Isaiah 29. I'm going to start at 15 and jump around. Woe or destruction unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us, working behind the scenes to come up with policies to come against this truth, to misconstrue this word and make it look like hate speech and inciting violence. But the men of the Lord see it. That's why we put up videos like this to shed light on that darkness. Jump to verse 21. That make a man an offender for a word. The word of Yahweh Ba'Yishim Yahushai. Just the other week, there was a news report that came out that said anti-Semitic posters saying Yahushai is coming were posted up near a kosher market, making a man an offender for the word or the name of Yahweh and Yahushai. And that just goes to show how desperate these devils are. They're doing anything they can to demonize this word and keep it from going out. But again, as it says in 2 Corinthians 13, verse 8, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Anytime you do any tacky little maneuver like that, that only sparks people's interest to go look up the name Yahushai, and if they happen to be of the elect, to further seal them, further bringing about your end. And also, if you put Esau or Edom in the title of your videos, you risk your page getting a strike or your videos getting taken down. And lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. The men of the Lord going out there on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up videos like this in this cyber gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
Bold letters. Other types of content that violate this policy. This is where it gets really interesting. Dehumanizing individuals or groups by calling them subhuman, comparing them to animals, insects, pests, disease, or any other non-human entity.
What does that sound like? This is Daniel 4:17. This matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men, which are you Idumeans. And that could be easily misconstrued as dehumanizing someone or calling him an animal or an insect. As you can see, this wasn't just some fly-by-night policy. They've been working on this demonization towards the truth for quite some time.
Praise or glorify violence against individuals or groups based on the attributes noted above. Use of racial, religious, or other slurs and stereotypes that incite or promote hatred based on any of the attributes noted above.
Calling someone an Idumean or an Edomite when that's just simply your biblical name.
Well, that means parody's out the window. Claim that individuals or groups are physically or mentally inferior, deficient, or diseased based on any of the attributes noted above. This
the basest of men
really is the death of comedy. Allege the superiority of a group over those with any of the attributes noted above to justify violence, discrimination, segregation, or exclusion. Conspiracy theories, ascribing evil, corrupt, or malicious intent to individuals or groups based on any of the attributes noted above. Call for the subjugation or domination over individuals or groups based on any of the attributes noted above.
Revelation 13, verse 9 through 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Deny that a well-documented violent event took place. Don't do it. Attacks on a person's emotional, romantic, and/or sexual attraction to another person. Content containing hateful, supremacist propaganda. Music.
Black supremacist, black identity extremist, so-called black Hebrew Israelite.
Videos promoting hateful supremacism. This next section is their examples section, and it's actually pretty hilarious. Here are examples of hate speech not allowed on YouTube. I'm glad this blank happened. They got what they deserved. Blank are dogs, or blank are like animals. More examples. Get out there and punch up blank. Everyone in blank are all criminals and thugs. Blank.
Hey, brothers have been saying for the longest time, watch what you say in these comment sections of these YouTube videos, or what you say on your videos, because as you can see, they're looking for anything they can to easily misconstrue our words.
Blank is scum of the earth.
Basest of men
are a disease. Blank are less intelligent than us because their brains are smaller. Don't say it. Our existence is threatened by blank, so we should drive them out at every chance we get. Blank has an agenda to run the world and get rid of us. That's
Malachi 1 verse 4, you ease are the border of wickedness. You're also the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job 9 and 24. And what was your blessing as pursuant to Genesis 27? The fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, having the earth under your subjection for a little season.
It's an example of hate speech. You guys, this is outrageously Orwellian. More examples. Blank is just a form of mental illness that needs to be cured. Blank shouldn't be educated in schools because they shouldn't be educated at all. All of the so-called victims of this violent event are actors. No one was hurt, and this is just a false flag. That
sound familiar? Now I'm going to jump around a little bit. Let's see.
Videos that violate our policies are removed, and users are seeing less borderline content and harmful misinformation. This next part is actually pretty scary. It says, as we do this, we're partnering closely with lawmakers and civil society around the globe to limit the spread of violent, extremist content online. We've been taking a close...
Like the FBI coming out with a report saying that so-called conspiracy theory videos can lead to domestic terrorism, such as the shooting in New Jersey.
Let's look at our approach towards hateful content in consultation with dozens of experts in subjects like violent extremism, supremacism, civil rights, and free speech. And here they have a link. You click the words partnering closely, it takes you to this online initiative, and it's all about Christchurch, and it's called the Christchurch Call. And remember, the Christchurch shooting live stream video came through Facebook. Facebook. And this is the one chunk I want to read from that link. It says, the Christchurch Call is a commitment by governments and tech companies to eliminate terrorist and violent extremist content online. It rests on the conviction that a free, open, and secure internet offers extraordinary benefits to society. Respect for freedom of expression is fundamental. However, no one has the right to create and share terrorist and violent extremist content online. You've been warned. Big bold letters. Removing more hateful and supremacist content from YouTube. We're specifically prohibiting videos alleging that a group is superior in order to justify discrimination, segregation, or
Deuteronomy 7 verse 6.
Exclusion based on qualities like age, gender, race, caste, religion, sexual orientation, or veteran status. We will remove content denying that well-documented violent events like the Holocaust or the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary took place.
That's pretty much it with this video. You get the point. Hey, as Joachim can see, we're getting closer and closer to that famine of the word. This is Psalm 64. I'm going to read verse 1 through 6. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. You ease. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, coming out with these anti-hate and anti-discrimination policies, using bitter words to say that speaking this truth is hate speech, terrorism, or inciting violence, making a man an offender for a word, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly did they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Oh, these policies are meant to target anybody out there who's inciting hatred. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You honestly believe you can keep prophecy from coming to its fulfillment by taking our videos off the internet and then coming after the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, but it's all futile. Again, 2 Corinthians 13 verse 8. You're going to make your move, which the Most High is putting on your spirit to make that move, and then he's going to make his move. I really should have gotten verse 7 in Psalm 64. Let's get it real quick. Psalm 64 verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, bringing about your judgment, especially by those nuclear-tipped ICBMs, 200 million of which are going to hit the United States of America, or Babylon the Great, turning it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea. Suddenly shall they be wounded. There's going to be the coming famine of the word and persecution of the Hebrew Israelites, the mandatory implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID/NFC microchip implant. Then you're going to see the battle in the valley of Jehoshaphat, or that war of Armageddon over in the Middle East. And finally, Yahushua HaMashiach returning to save his elect from this destruction. And then the fun really begins. The elect are going to come down from the chariots and start slapping chains on you heathen nations so you can serve that first 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery. And you elites are going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom. You're going to be the first ones we come after from your underground bunkers, your submarines, and your space stations. So to you sincere Akim out there, you shouldn't be getting shooken up seeing this persecution coming our way. You should be rejoicing, because that means our salvation is nearer than when we believed. And besides, we have the whole playbook. We know how it's going to end. And with the Most High behind us, who can stand in front of us? And as I said at the beginning of the video, you should be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because this spigot's about to get turned off. Now I'm going to close it out in Amos chapter 8, verse 11, verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, the famine of the word. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, those Israelites that didn't take this time of liberty to get as much of this truth as they could. They thought they had all the time in the world to come back to their power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, or they scoffed against the truth. In that day, they're going to have to take whatever horrible judgment is coming their way, and you don't want to be a part of their lot. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim are edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abba Bal, Kwam Yasharala. Till next time, Shalom.